Fantasy Football Game Week 4 is here. We've done a Game Week 4 predictions. This is Fantasy Football Game Week 4. There's a lot to go through. Arsenal play United this week. A lot of players will have free United and free Arsenal going against each other. How is that going to impact your fantasy football? Players that I think you need to bring in. And I get tips and advice from fantasy football players in the top 1,000 in fantasy football. So, let's get on to the video. João Pedro, a guy I sold last week, and a guy I replaced with Visa from Brentford. Visa? Let's see what you done. Nothing. 9 points against Tottenham with a goal. Goal and assist against Fulham and 11. Got 2 points with an XG of 0.27 against Palace. But I say João Pedro, get him out of your team. He's out of favour. Ferguson didn't score when he played, but Ferguson looked really good, so my guess is De Zerbi will start Ferguson this week. Last week I said bring in Gusto. And what a player he was. I just had it. Reece James was injured. Gusto's going to be number 1 starting for a while. But you only have Gusto for 1 more week because in Game Week 5, Reece James is back. However, if I was you, I'd still hold on to Gusto even when James is back because he was 4 million. His now price gone up to 4.1. If you get him on now and just keep him there, and the games that Reece James does play, put him on the bench because let's be honest, Reece James is only going to play like 10 out of the 38 games this year because he's going to get injured. So Gusto is going to play the other 25 games or so. So I think get Gusto on, keep him on your team. He was brilliant against Luton. They got 2 assists from right back. They got Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest did play good against United, but Stamford Bridge again. They got Forest, Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham and Burnley. 5 games which Chelsea can't keep clean sheets and Gusto can get more assists. I don't have any Arsenal or United players in my team. Maybe that's where I'm slacking, but Arsenal play United this week. A lot of people I know have Arsenal and United players in their team. Rashford, Bruno, Odegaard and Saka is the 4 big ones. Saka's back in penalties for Arsenal after Odegaard took it in Game Week 1. I would prefer Saka over Martinelli and Odegaard at the moment. I think Saka is the golden boy for Arsenal. I think Saka's just, because he's on pens and all too, it makes it a lot easier. Penalty takers are going to run away with fantasy football again this year. If you have a penalty taker from all 20 teams on it, you'll probably still finish in the top half of top 50% of fantasy football players just by having penalty takers alone. Rashford I would hold for now. They're playing Arsenal this week and yes, Arsenal aren't the best defensively at the minute. But playing on our left, he's a hold for now. I would keep him for this game week, see how he does, and then it's up to you then, if you're in your personal opinion, if you want to take him out. But I would give Rashford 1 more game week if you have Rashford on your team. Bruno Fernandes, keep him. It's Bruno Fernandes. He's the most creative player that United have going forward. I would keep Bruno Fernandes. But moving on to the big topic this week, it's Sterling, Maddison and Foden. It's the 3 big names circling around the midfielder. I'm bringing one of them in, but how I'm going to do that, I'm not 100% sure. Because if we have a look, I have Mbeumo, March, Matoma, but I'm going to take out one of them. I'm going to keep Mbeumo on it. March or Matoma. March, I had a look at this earlier. He's the most creative player out of him and Matoma. His form is better. He's getting more points on average per game. His XG, everything's better than Matoma. So if we take Matoma out, that gives us 7 million for a midfielder. There's no midfielders. Rodri is an interesting choice, you know. I'm not going to lie. Rodri, hear me out on this. Look at the fixtures. Fulham, West Ham, Forest, Wolves. 13 points against Burnley, 3 against Newcastle, and 10 against Sheffield. He has 2 goals and 1 assist. He's allowed to float more forward now. And I think that's what helps. I feel like bringing Rodri in would not be a bad shout. But then Sterling's only 7.1 million too. And if you think about it, 2 points against Liverpool, 2 against West Ham, 19 against Luton with 2 goals and 1 assist. He's got Forest, Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham and Burnley next. I think Sterling, Jackson, 2 Chelsea players you could probably think about getting in. I had Chilwell and Gusto, so I don't want a triple stack at Chelsea. I don't think. Maddison, 9 points against Brentford, 3 against United, 10 against Bournemouth. They got 1 goal and 2 assists in 3 games. They got Burnley and Sheffield United in the next 2 games, 2 promoted teams. Then they got Arsenal and Liverpool, but then they got the 3rd promoted team in Luton. So out of 5 games, they got play 3 of the promoted teams. then and Arsenal and Liverpool in there. So it's 5 big games for Maddison to do so on. And then after that, you got Fulham, Palace, Chelsea, Wolves. Like, Maddison is one that you could probably bring in with the easiest fixture probably this week, going to West Ham and looking at Jared Bowen. I did look at Jared Bowen myself. Let's have a look. Right wingers against Luton tend to bring up a lot of points, as we've seen from Sterling and as we've seen from who played Luton in game week 1? Who played Luton in game week 1? Oh my god. Brighton. Yeah. So the two right midfielders that played Luton in 2 games had put up double digits plus. Jared Bowen put up 12 against Brighton, got a goal and assist. He got 2 goals and 1 assist so far. They do play Luton, but after that, be careful because they got City, Liverpool next to then Sheffield United, but then they got hard ones in Newcastle and Everton, or Newcastle and Aston Villa. Sorry. There's just so many ways you could play it this week. You could go with a Jared Bowen, you could go for Raheem Sterling, a Rodri if you wanted, a FODEN. Not a bit too expensive in my book at the minute, but 394, price is 7.6. Man City's fixtures, Fulham, West Ham, Forest, Wolves. He doesn't average that many points. He got 16 in total. He's only got 2 assists so far. I would probably fancy this week a little bit of Jared Bowen, but then I'd be looking to take him out next weekend because he gets City and Liverpool back-to-back games, unless we put everything in Liverpool, West Ham, because I already have James Ward-Prowse for the Luton fixture. 1 goal, 2 assists in 2 games, Chelsea and Brighton. I think I'll keep that's the West Ham game covered with James Ward-Prowse. So I think James Ward-Prowse is the only player we'll have in this game. I was thinking of maybe taking Visa out and putting a Mikel Antonio or something up top to save some money. But we'll keep Visa out for the time being. Because I feel like I need the money. Rodri is an interesting one to put in here. But I think Raheem Sterling, if you put him on there, we're going to take the 4-point reduction, which means we have 6 million left in the bank. Could cost us 4 million. So Sterling for Matoma, and then in attacking wise, we have 6 million. I don't think that's enough for anyone. Mikel Antonio, I think. In Kedia, Gabriel Jesus is back. Semenyo got a goal against Liverpool. Is that all he done? He got assist against Aston Villa. Yeah. Mikel Antonio could be one you get in. I mean, he's got 2 goals and 2 goals in back-to-back games against Chelsea and Brighton. But then he's got Luton, and if we put him on, yes, he won't do nothing against City or Liverpool. He will be the 3rd striker in the bench when City play. I just think Mikel Antonio getting him to the team could be a way to get Raheem and with saving some with the money I have, because I can't do a straight swap, or we look at the likes of James Maddison, who again is more expensive, so we need to take another hit for a weaker striker. Or at the same time, you could go Rodri for 5.7 million. For 5.7 million, I don't really want to have 2 centre mids. But then again, I had the maximum amount of Man City players, so Rodri wouldn't work because we have Ederson, Alvarez, and Haaland. Alvarez is one I gotta look at in the next couple of weeks. He's got a goal and assist in 2 games. Once these 4 fixtures are over, Fulham, West Ham, Forest, and Wolves. Once that's over, and we get into Arsenal, Brighton, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, that's the time Alvarez will have to be cut from a team. But that's my 2 transfers this week. We could confirm the transfers. We're bringing in Raheem Sterling for Matomo, Mikel Antonio for Visa. We're going to confirm the transfers. The reason I had to take Visa is I needed to save money elsewhere. And I think having a 3rd striker who's a little bit weaker with Alvarez and Hazard or Haaland up top is fine by me. We put our team out now. Who do you fancy keeping a clean sheet? Ederson or Areola? Because if you have a look at Areola, he conceded in every game so far, but he's got 3 points against Brentford, or Bournemouth, sorry, 10 against Chelsea, 5 against Brighton. He didn't concede a goal in every game, but Luton. Have Luton scored a goal yet? Oh, they scored against Brighton. Morris. Oh, I don't want to sync the calendar, damn it. They don't have a game. They didn't score against Chelsea. Or Ederson. I think we're going to keep Ederson home to Fulham. Yes, Fulham are a good team. But I think Ederson starts. Chilwell and Gusto at the back, home to Nottingham Forest. Estupiñán's an interesting one right now. because Estupiñán, Trent, or Trippier is going to be my third defender. I'll probably decide that on Friday, just before the game week, just before the deadline. Midfield, we got Diaz, Sterling, March, and Buemo. Don't know what midfielders we're going to play this week. Lord Price had where the Luton should start, but then who do I bench? Do I bench? But if I bench Antonio, do I bench Alvarez? Do I bench Buemo, making Buemo sub number 1? What do we do? This is the way we're going to keep it at the moment. We will probably change this. We'll do a stream on Friday morning for a couple of hours, and I'll probably do some last minute chopping and changing with my team. I might even start Ariel when it comes to the Friday. We're not sure. But I got a few messages from... So he is top, whenever he sent me the screenshot, he was 1,334 overall in the whole world. 16 from Wales, because that's where we live. 215 in United. So he's 1,334. Ain't nobody beating T as my league. And he's number 1, because it's going to be very hard to knock him off the perch. But his tops this week were... He says Spurs and Chelsea have the best fixtures. So if we have a look, Tottenham, he thinks Tottenham against Burnley is going to be an easy fixture for Tottenham with the way they're playing. Chelsea have the best fixture. They have Chelsea have the best fixture. No, I would have said West Ham. Chelsea, Forest. Interesting. Brighton are coming up in a rough couple of games. Gabriel Jesus is coming back, so Arsenal might have some extra rotation. Some extra rotation risk. Yeah, Arteta's Pep 2.0. City are still a nightmare to pick players from because of Pep's rotation. Pep, De Zerbi, and Arteta, 3 managers who rotate because they're such a vast, there's so many talented players that need game time. And that's some of it. He says, I'm going to take Nketiah out this week, so that's his transfer. He's taking Nketiah out and replacing Nketiah for Jackson because of fixtures, and Gabriel's back. So Gabriel Jesus is back, Nketiah is coming out of his team because they want to be number 1 striker anymore. Jackson's going in for the next 3 or 4 weeks because of the fixtures that Chelsea have. So there you go. You heard it from a guy who's just outside the top 1,000 in fantasy football with the what he thinks of it and the transfer that he's making. And you also hear from me, a guy who he's beaten in the league very, very easily, I should point out. But we will do a stream on Friday, guys. Come free on Friday and we will rate your teams. And I'll give you my prediction on what I think. Last week, my number 1 prediction was get Gusto on your team. That was all I said all week. Gusto, Gusto, Gusto. Man went and got 2 assists and 14 points. He got 2 bonus points as well because Raheem the Dream got the man of match. But I sort of know what I'm talking about. I did predict Forest to beat United. That was close. That was close, okay? No one called me out on that. That was close. It finished 3-2 United. Very close. But guys, game week prediction video will be dropping tomorrow. Stream on a Friday. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. Make sure to smash a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And let me know in your fantasy football changes, what you're doing this week. And let me know if you think I'm wrong for the transfers I made. And let me know if you think the guy who was just outside the top 1,000 in the whole world, let me know if you think he's wrong as well. It's been your boy T, guys. Take care of yourselves and peace out.